One thing that always upset me about Tomorrow Never Dies is while GoldenEye had a lot of those attachments to the internet using the internet in 1995, when Tomorrow Never Dies is a whole lot about the whole media theme with newspapers, television, and other regular types of media around that time. The internet still existed before 1997, so even though it had a huge media-like plot, I didn't like that there wasn't one single mention of the internet in Tomorrow Never Dies when it was in GoldenEye, and that always bothered me. The other thing I want to say about Tomorrow Never Dies is it's actually my least favorite of all the Pierce Brosnan movies. I know other people may have liked this movie, Tomorrow Never Dies, more than I did, but I'd have to say that while I like it and it's got a lot of fun and some nice scenes, I ultimately have it as my least favorite of the Pierce Brosnan. Now, while it is my least favorite, I do think it's a whole lot of fun, whole lot of action. One thing I have to say that about this movie to me is, at least to me, I always thought that it was kind of an easy mission, an easy objective. There was nothing too hard about what Bond had to do in this movie compared to what he did in a lot of other movies, even in other Pierce Brosnan movies. And I thought that, with the exception of him not knowing the Mandarin in that one scene towards the end in that place they worked together with the Mandarin, other than that, he seemed to just be smoothly going through everything, and he's definitely more confident than he was with that first appearance in GoldenEye. And it's just a shame for the whole Paris Carver scene that I agree with Pierce Brosnan that Paris Carver should have been played by Monica Bellucci, who would finally get to at least appear in a Bond movie, Inspector, but ultimately and sadly is not Paris Carver in Tomorrow Never Dies. Or their other idea where Natalia from GoldenEye could have been the Paris Carver character or something. I don't know. Just lots of missed opportunities. But yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies is the shortest of the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies, just like Quantum of Solace is the shortest of the Daniel Craig movies. I will briefly talk about Quantum of Solace in my Casino Royale review of thoughts. But yeah, back to Tomorrow Never Dies. I like the whole media theme, but it even has VHS tapes and talk about GPS, the navigation system GPS. Yet not a single thing even thought about with the Internet World Wide Web online, which always upset me about this '97 movie. And it did pretty well, but ultimately was crushed by going the same time as Titanic. But yeah, it gets to the points really pretty quick. It also to me has the most, at least in my opinion, my least favorite of the Pierce Brosnan openings of the movies. It's my least favorite movie and the least favorite of the openings. It's interesting what he does with the cigarettes, even though he smokes 2 movies later with Die Another Day. But yeah, oh, that reminds me, Tomorrow Never Dies was almost called Tomorrow Never Lies, but the lie got taken off and they decided for Tomorrow Never Dies instead. Oh, one quick thing I forgot to mention in the GoldenEye talk. In GoldenEye was actually the resort home, the home feeling at home of the writer Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming liked to relax and write and be at his Jamaica GoldenEye thing. So that's one real quick thing to add about GoldenEye. But back to Tomorrow Never Dies. The villain is a bit over the top. He's got a henchman, and I think it's kind of like a step down from GoldenEye. It's kind of a step down, and it's still. Here's one thing I want to say about this movie to continue on. I just want to say, while this is my least favorite Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie, if I had to watch my next James Bond movie with the choices either being Tomorrow Never Dies or No Time to Die, Bond 25, if I had to choose between Tomorrow Never Dies and No Time to Die, I would always choose Tomorrow Never Dies over No Time to Die. As you've already heard my thoughts and opinions on No Time to Die in a previous video I made. I would always watch Tomorrow Never Dies over it. Yeah, it's really pretty quick pace. The shortest of the movies. It's just little under 2 hours, and I I like the female Asian agent, what she can do. But with the other female character though, that should have been probably been played by a different actress. And oh, one more thing before I close this out with the grade rating. I just have to say this: Tomorrow Never Dies. This movie is what I like about Tomorrow Never Dies is it is one of the most. It is still. It's still highly relevant to our 21st century current situation involving news, current events, like the whole fake news aspect of Tomorrow Never Dies. I really liked. It was so ahead of its time, and so still so fresh and organic today about that whole fake news thing. Which, by the way, also was still a thing 20 years earlier with Nixon. But yeah, if I had to, I hope I didn't leave too much out. I do like the car scene. Again, the action is very high pace. If I had to grade Tomorrow Never Dies, I'm gonna have to give this a C or a C plus, a C or a C plus, or a 2.2 or a 2.5 out of 4 Kazakhstan stars, and that's it. All I gotta say now is. Yeah, I mentioned there how the news is still relevant, even more so in 97 to the 2020s, yeah. So,